Okay, it says we're online. I'm gonna try to believe it. I'm gonna send it like a message or two, and then we're gonna dive into After Effects. So until then, let's just do this. Not stand by. That exclamation point does not look like an exclamation point. I'm just gonna remove that because it looks like please stand BYI. And I have no idea if that is an acronym for anything. This might help if I actually had some information copy and pasted. Copy pasta. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy and paste this message into one other place because honestly, I do want other people to learn how to animate. A lot of people, or let me start with some background. When I first started After Effects, I was very intimidated by the program. I knew a little bit about video editing, but video editing is just the base block of knowing how to animate. Video editing, putting one clip in front of another in another program like Movie Maker or DaVinci, which is free, or Premiere or Avid or Final Cut. That is video editing, or non-linear editing, as some people would describe it as, or that's the official term for it, non-linear editing. That's what the programs like Avid and Premiere and Final Cut do, and Movie Maker and all that good jazz. And that's like knowing what salt and pepper is when it comes to animating. When it comes to animating, yes, you have clips that go one after another after another. But there's so much more depth to it. It's better to think of animation like Photoshop with a camera and movement, which may sound weird, but it is one of the things that it's just one of the things that's helped me along the way. So I'm going to paste this. Oh, no, don't want to spam that. I know I haven't done much now, but I'm getting a lot of things set up, and I just want to get the word out there. Because like I said, I want to teach people, especially with a program that is as intimidating as After Effects. I still think After Effects is intimidating. even with what's going on. Okay, so I guess I might as well start. Okay, so if it's not obvious from things that are on my screen, the song that I will be animating for us is No Exit Orion. Now maybe I should check to make sure the audio is going okay. So I will do that really quick. Is that working? Blah 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 blah. Okay, there is audio. Yay! Okay, let's plug these back into where they're supposed to go. How essentially this is going to go is, now that I'm not feeling anymore, I'm just going to start animating, and until I see something that might indicate that there are questions or otherwise, if anyone decides to join, then I'll explain it. But until then, I'm just going to start and ramble on my thought process along the way. Okay, so I know the first thing I want definitely are stars. And one thing I'm going to start out with that is I'm going to look up some night sky pictures. This is a website that I like to use because it is completely free, royalty-free, free images, which I think is very important. And they don't have the greatest of greatest collections, but sometimes when you need something, see, like this, I would crop the top of this, but I am just going to search starry sky. Okay, right off the bat, I like this one. Yes. So I'm just going to download that. Let's see it here, starry sky. This looks so sad. You just have a please stand by in a grungy font and then a flower. Okay, so I'm gonna bring in, that's not it. If I make some, if weird things pop up, it's usually, blah, blah. That should not have been up. If some things pop up, sometimes I use the wrong, keys on my keyboard. Okay, so there's a nice starry sky. I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna get rid of this flower. So I'm thinking of the song. I'm gonna play it for a bit, and then when I get to one of the points where I've been thinking about what I want to do there, I'm gonna start doing it. Oh, suddenly I can't hear. No, I should be able to hear it. Oh, I think I know what happened. I unplugged my headphones earlier to test the YouTube audio, so now After Effects is freaking out. It'll do that every now and then. It's no big deal. I'm just gonna save what I have so far and be ready to hide everything else and restart After Effects. Yep, there's the audio. Okay, volume mixer, where are you? Here you are. I'm gonna bring you down even further. And I'm also gonna lower the audio level here so I don't kill my own ears. So usually the instrumental parts at the beginning and in the very middle is where I struggle with. So normally I start at other places where there are words, because then I could actually see the character and build everything off of that. Okay, so I'm gonna start. Here's the night sky background that I have, and I do have a vignette going on here. All my effects I have here, and effects and presets. So that has a slight vignette on it. Here's that starry sky I brought in earlier, and I'm going to maybe not overlay. Want to get, there we go. I kind of like that. And then I'm going to bring the opacity down slightly. Okay, that's looking okay. Then where's my script? Use script, and of course that is Kotori singing or our wonderful, wonderful Steph. Oh, just look at that. Oh, that looks so pretty. Okay. Now this is where I'm going to want to bring a little bit of camera movement in. So now we're going to start delving into cameras. I have my character right here. Here's Steph, a starry sky, and this blue sky. Actually, before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so that this starry sky is about as big as this. Make it about as big as the screen. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-compose. So that is essentially when you package a few layers together so that they act as one layer later on. So here I've pre-composed, and I'm going to call this Starry Sky. One thing about After Effects is you have all your all the components you're using in your animation right here. This is under your project window. Organizing this is absolutely key. It may not look like much right now, but trust me, as we get further in this animation, it's going to get a little crazy. So you can always right click, make new folders. I'm going to name this one, name this one Assets. And assets to me are outside things that I've brought in. So here's some flowers that I plan on using later. Who knows, maybe I might not use them at all. Plans can change. And then here's that starry sky picture I brought in. And then I'm going to make another folder, and I'm going to call it Pre-Comps, short for Pre-Compositions. For Pre-Compositions, see how we made this starry sky pre-comp right here? I'm going to drag that over to Pre-Comps. And I'll always have my main one outside, so I can always have easy access to it. Okay. Now I'm going to add a camera to this. Before I can add a camera to this, I need to make sure things are in a 3D space, because 3D spaces is where you really get that dynamic effect. So over here, hopefully my mouse is visible enough, you have motion blur, adjustment layer, and 3D layer. Ones that I'll use most, I barely use adjustment layer. So I use motion blur sometimes, but the most common thing I use is the 3D layer. I'm going to make the night sky behind a 3D layer, and I'm going to make Steph a 3D layer. From here, I'm going to go to Layer, then New, then Camera. And I don't rename my cameras, that could just be bad on me. But find an organization process that works for you. I can keep track of my cameras, so I don't name my cameras. Maybe that'll change as I evolve more as an After Effects animator. So the camera doesn't look like it's doing anything right now. I'm not only going to make a camera, but I'm also going to make a layer, new, and null object. This null object is something that's there, but not there at the same time. What this null object is going to serve as is it's going to serve as my controller for my camera. So first, since I'm going to be moving the camera in a 3D space, I need to make the null object a 3D layer. And from there, I have, you see this? It's called parent and link. So I'm going to take this little pick whip and I'm going to drag it from the camera to the null object. That makes it so that anything I do to the null object will also affect the camera. So up, down, up, down, up, down. Yep, that the camera is being controlled. Unlike if I didn't, if I move the null object, nothing happens. So let's put that back here. Here is why cameras are important. I have the starry sky and I have stuff. I'm going to press P to open up position, and I have my X, Y, and Z coordinates. And Z coordinates is where the magic happens. So I'm going to choose an arbitrarily high number and use negatives, because negative will bring a subject closer to you. I mean closer to you as in a 3D space. If there wasn't a screen here, it would be coming closer to you. So let's do negative 1500. Oh, that looks pretty large, right? Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to scale her down. And part of this is because of this background, but it's also because I don't need to use her full resolution character right now. So I'm going to scale it down to about 50. She disappears over here. I drag and drop back. Now watch this. I press B to pull up the position on my null. And here's my Z. Wow. Already it's looking a little more dynamic. You go from the night sky, you truck back, and there she is. So I'm going to still play with the framing. One thing that I really love about the art that we have for this one is that it's big. And you need big art, or else things get really pixelated. I could pull in an example, but just know that this art has been done in really high resolution, and I cannot thank our artist enough for that. Okay, so let's go to the music really quick before I start adding the keyframes. And I know she's going to start singing there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the camera past here until you can't see her anymore. And how do I explain how that works? So here's a view. This is what I see, and this is a top view of our scene. Right here you have our background, and I'm like 90% sure this is supposed to be Steph. And this box right here is the camera. So since the camera is past her, you don't see it. All you're seeing is what the camera sees, which is the starry sky right now. To get into this, you have your views here. You can do as many as 4 views. I never need to. Also, my screen is small, so I can't do that. So I mostly work in one camera view, and if I really need to see where everything is, then I go for a 2 view, with one of them being a top view. Okay, here's where some actual animation happens. I'm going to keyframe the position by clicking this stopwatch on this null object. Now remember, this null object is controlling the camera. While I could go into the position and mess with the camera, a null object just works a lot smoother. And shout out to Lynn for really showing me that, because she's watched tutorials that I haven't that have been really helpful, and yeah. So I'm going to listen to the music and figure out where I want this camera to stop. Okay, so that seems good. I'm going to have the camera. How to explain this? When you've already keyframed something, so I have this keyframe right here, and you move your positioner, which is this blue thing here, to another spot, if you change something, a new keyframe will automatically be made. So that's nice. One thing I am going to have to do for the starry sky is I'm just going to have to scale it really big, and I know that'll make it not so crisp in the background. It's one of those reasons why a lot of times you'd want to have a vector. Actually, I wonder if FreePic has a starry night sky vector. That might help a lot. Another site that I use a lot is FreePic, and it has a lot of, well, free resources as long as you credit it in the end. So that's why there's an asset or a credits in the video description. So I'm going to see what they have as far as starry sky. We have some nice ones here. I think I might use one of these instead. Oh, I remember this one. So this one, this galaxy scene right here, that's actually what I used in our Onaji Hoshi ga Mitai. But I'm not going to use that one again. So I'm trying to think which one would look best, because it is somewhat of a melancholic song. I want some gradients to go in it. And this just shows that I don't have all of my assets in one place by the time I start animating. A lot of it is an evolving process, and that might be some inefficiencies on my part, but it's how I get through things right now. I think I like I think I like this one, actually. Okay, just gotta make sure that it is a vector, and that is very important because I'll show why. Okay, now that that's done, I'm going to bring that into here, and put it here, paste it here, extract it here. Stuff that's not related to animating. Maybe, somewhat. Oh no. Delete the zip file. And here we go. So, what I have to do with a lot of FreePic, because I have Adobe, I have the Adobe suite. So I'm going to open Illustrator, because that's how you open vector files, is through Illustrator. And over here they have two sizes, and I'm going to want the bigger one. So I can see from here, I don't want to concern myself with that one, and for this one I'm going to just delete the little credit that was at the bottom, because I will be crediting it at the end of the video. What I'm going to do here is I am going to export this. I'm going to use artboards, and I only want artboard 2. Because over here, the artboard 1 is the squarer one, and artboard 2 is the longer one, which is what I need. So let's do starry sky 2. And for resolution, I always do high. And okay. Another thing that I can do, but it doesn't always work for me, is sometimes your program doesn't want to work. What? Let's give it a minute. Let's close Illustrator. No, I don't want to save the changes I just did. This is why Control S is your best friend. Because this happens. Even on a custom computer built like mine, things just randomly crash. For no reason at all whatsoever. So we're just going to have to force close After Effects. And then we can also see if it was saved at all anywhere. So, let's see here, After Effects projects. Did I actually save it under here? Maybe I did. Yep, there it is. Okay, so we might have to start from a previous point. So, if anyone new is here, welcome. I'm explaining After Effects. Any questions? Please join the Discord and let me know there, because I only have one extra screen, and that's all I can really handle as far as computer stuff goes. Yep, so a lot of things were deleted right there, but that's fine. I'm going to start a little bit from the beginning. So I have my audio track, and I'm going to bring in the assets I need. So I have this Starry Sky, which I just downloaded from FreePick. I edited it in Illustrator to get rid of its little credit mark, because I'll be crediting it in the video description, and I'm going to import that right now. Whenever I import outside resources, aka things that are not made in After Effects, I always make a new folder, and I call it Assets. So these flowers that I may or may not use, this Starry Sky, and this other Starry Sky, I'm just going to delete because I don't think I'll use that. It's too small of an image for what I need. You need really big images when you animate, or else it's going to look pixelated later. So a little bit of a speed run. I'm going to add my background right here. That looks beautiful. Great. Then I'm also going to add character. Beautiful stuff. Just look how nice that all looks together. And of course it's no exit Orion, so they look sad. When I add things onto my timeline, which is this area down here, I want to make it into a 3D layer. That's where you really get depth and interesting things. So I'm going to click this box right here. This cube means 3D layer. Allows this layer to be manipulated in 3 dimensions, because what we really want is we want that Z axis. So now I have a background and I have a character. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Layer, New, Camera. You can also use this shortcut right here. So I don't name my cameras. That might just be bad on me. Oh well. So I have a camera, and in addition to a camera, what I've gotten used to is I've been making new null objects. What a null object is it's a thing that's there, but not visibly there. But it has controls. Say if I press P for position, I have an X and a Y. And you can see that if I had my webcam on, you would see Cody fingers when I say, I forget what I was saying. But I'm gonna make that into a 3D layer. And this null object serves as my control for this camera and what this camera is going to do. Over here, you have this little spiral, and it's called a pick whip. What it does is it'll let me link this camera to something else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link this camera, see how this line comes out of it, and I'm going to link it to this null object. That way, whenever I do anything to this null object, it'll also affect the camera. Let me show you what happens without the parent. So null object, it just stays. So let's bring that back into the center. Connecting the camera to the null object. And I'm going to start moving it around. So now we're back to where we were. Okay. Oh, the other thing I need to do, the reason if I do this it still looks flat, is because Steph and the background are on the same plane. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the starry sky a somewhat big positive number for its z-axis, and that pushes it further away from me. And then for Steph, I'm going to give it a negative number. I'm going to give her a negative number so that she comes towards me. I'm going to play with the scale until I get the look that I like, as in this is where I'm going to want the camera to land eventually. So here we go. I'm going to hit the stopwatch on the position, and I'm going to move it. So here we go. Now we're getting some depth going, except I still think I want this further in the back. So 2000 sounds like a good number. And that's where I want that little section to end, so I'll bring the null object here until I get to the point where this is what I want to see. So let's see what that looks like. Okay, now to make it really cool, I'm going to highlight the keyframes and I'm going to press F9. And that makes it an easy ease. That gives it the nice smooth look. Okay, that's looking better. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit these keyframes in a very, I would say basic manner. I'm going to click this keyframe, which is the same as this keyframe in the graph editor. And if you don't see this, when you go to the graph editor, right click in the graph editor and I edit in the speed graph. I'm going to pull this over here and we'll see what that looks like. I'm going to start animating at half because I don't know how loud the song is on the stream, but you'll hear that it gets slow. And that's because After Effects is rendering as I'm playing. Okay, I think that's looking good. So here, let's look up the lyrics. I don't understand. Was everything you said a lie? So I don't understand to be over here. Now I'm going to start adding text, and I did not think at all what font I wanted to use for this. So let's see here. What's a font that might work for No Exit Orion? That's not going to be Moonbeam because I've already used it. Distant Galaxy. No, that's not going to look good at all. What is this? Prima. Usually this is something that I'll plan out by going to Font Squirrel or something like that, or one of those sites where I can get some fonts. But let's work with this one right now. I don't understand. I'm gonna put this over here. Oh, nope. I want to move this. I'm gonna have to pick a different font. I don't like that font at all. I think I need something more sans serif. I might just use Moonbeam until I find something else. So where is Moonbeam? Probably under M's. Moonbeam is probably under M's. I just really like the Moonbeam font. It's really spacious. Okay, now we have these keyframes, but if you see, the text isn't affected. That's because we also need to put it in a 3D space. Whenever there's a camera involved, and you're animating the way I do, it needs to be in a 3D space. So I'm going to remember where this is right here. I'm going to make it a 3D layer, and all of a sudden it looks big. And that's because its original position was at 0 z-axis. So I have to pull it back, and take note that I am pulling it back. I am not making it a smaller font. I am not scaling it down. I am simply pulling it back. That way it can be affected by the camera. Okay. So right there is where I'm going to want the camera to really move towards her. So I edit this so that there is a spike more around there. I might actually just have to move stuff forward a bit more. Okay. One thing that's nice is when you have something like a jacket, it covers up the screen at some point. So what I'll do is, by using Alt and the brackets that are under the plus and minus, I can say I don't want to see this layer after this point where my positioner is. So when we start over here, oh, suddenly it's gone! Now because I had to move stuff, I don't like how the framing turned out, so I have to there we go. Okay, from this point on, I'm just going to start animating, and maybe I'll stop every now and then instead of explaining everything because I want to get some more animation done. Wish there was a way I could make a little box somewhere. Oh wait, I can, but I would have to do that in OBS. Tempting. So tempting. No, I guess I could have two tabs open. YouTube and Discord. Maybe that was a little too dramatic. And the more I listen to this, the more sad she sounds, and it just breaks my heart ever so slightly every time. One thing that I hear here is I hear a slight piano, so I'm going to play with the idea of that ripple effect. I need the stroke to be a lot bigger. There we go. If it looks unnatural, add easy ease. I might want to make this bigger though. And maybe also messing with the transparency would help too. I like it, but I can't really get it. Maybe if I bring them out a bit. Oh, that's looking better. Okay, let's see how that looks. Moonbeam. I clearly clicked moonbeam. Give me my moonbeam. Oh. Okay. maybe a little bit of blur would be nice. Let's do like 3 blur. I'll also add it here for consistency. You know, I did not intend on it happening, but I like it. Okay, so now that I have all of that, last thing I'm going to do for now is I'm going to add a light. So for a light, everything is 3D because lights only affect 3D layers. I'm going to layer, new, a light. I always deal in spot. And then already you can see there's quite the difference. There's a little bit more depth to it. So let's see how it affects everything else. I'm also going to go all the way down to 1/4 because the more things you add, the more CPU it eats up. Ooh, I kind of like that. That looks kind of cool. You can't really see who's there right now. But if I wanted to do that... The lie and then we made promises doesn't make too much sense. You know what? I think I'm going to work with this. I'm going to see what I can do. I think I can make it so this doesn't get affected by light. Accepts light. Or, at least for these, I can just make it black. Here we go. And then for... Or maybe... Actually, let's move this back to white. And then make it so that these are not... that these do not accept lights. Once again, it's a little bit past noon, so if there are any questions, I will stop what I'm doing and explain anything you need about After Effects. It can be as simple as, how do I start up this program? How do I use it? Let me know, and I'll explain as best I can. Until then, we are continuing our animation of No Exit Orion. So sometimes if you feel like you're going to go crazy with how zombie thing everything hears, hears, listens, sounds. When you go under preview, that was a double click, I did not want to do that. There's play audio and preview. You turn that off, you go, I don't have to listen to zombie noises. Here we go, there's that section. I need to edit something really quick. Okay, hopefully that changed. So let's see what this looks like. Oh, I still need to fix that then. So we made promises. So that still has to be white, or else I don't think I can't read it. So first, I'm going to go under material options, make it so the light doesn't affect it, and it's already white, so it's white there. So this is the ripple, so I should probably rename that ripple. And do I want this to accept light? Something that I remember with one of these, and I can't remember what it is. Sometimes I click around. I click around the blending modes to see if there's anything that stops out of me, but because this is mostly in black and white, I'm not going to find much right now. Okay, and then this goodbye. And that other font we used was, I'm going to favorite Moonbeam right now. I know the other one started with an, oh, was it really Opine Heavy? Maybe. Yep, that is what I used. Once again, I'm going to go into material options in here, make it so it does not accept the light that I have right here, so we can still see the white. I'm gonna line this up to be more in line with here. Okay, let's try the section again. I'm going to turn off sound in preview so it doesn't sound zombified. Because we've already rendered this most before, this shouldn't take too long except for this second half where I just added the new text. I made promises. Okay, let's do it sound so that everything lines up. Okay, so I'm pretty much happy with that right now. I'm going to clean up some layers so that they only show when they're supposed to by using Alt plus the brackets under plus and minus. And let's move on to the next one. The way I go by frame on the timeline is I click Control and then the forward and back buttons. Okay, who's next? Okay, so knowing what those lyrics are there, I know what I want for this last piece. So I might animate that first and then go back to the beginning. Because I have all these layers right here, I'm going to pre-compose these. Once again, pre-composing, you select a bunch of layers. The way I selected all these was I clicked the first one, held down Shift, clicked this other one, all those layers are selected, right click, pre-compose. Make sure that this box is checked because it's not always automatically checked. Adjust composition duration to the time span of the selected layers. And the way I name my pre-comps is I usually do time. So this is 19 seconds to 31 seconds. So I'll name this 19 to 31. Nope, and I did not include stuff in that pre-comp. As you can see, that kind of messed a few things up. Oop. Let's try that again, this time with feeling. Pre-compose, 19 to 31, and here. So, for the next part, I'm going to place light where I want her. Oh, going back to project, I have this 1931 that's right here. I'm going to make a new folder, and I'm going to call that pre-comps, short for pre-compositions. And I'm going to drag that in there. That way all my pre-comps are in one spot. Ooh. Why did all of them get grabbed? Oh, that's weird. Maybe 25. There we go. I'm liking this silhouette because one thing that I do like in videos is doing a reveal on the chorus of how they look like, which isn't always an option, but it's something I do like to do. Once again, creating a null object, creating a camera, linking or pick whipping the camera to the null object, making the null object a 3D layer so I can control the camera. I think I'm going to go in a downward motion for this camera movement. So here's my position. Okay, so yep, so we're just going to go here. And then Question 1. Does it look unnatural with these keyframes? If the answer is yes, F9 for easy ease. Yeah. Except I'm not liking the downward movement, so I'm going to switch these keyframes around. So, I think with Light's character, yeah, a lot of the action is going on inside, so I might just have to tease her character with the light. And what I mean by that is I'm just going to have to bring her back. So there, but I still want her face hidden, so I'd want it like that. Yes, that looks better. So I like this effect, and to do that, what I'm going to need to do is I have two options. I can make her bigger and move the light, or I can move the camera closer to her. I think I'm zombie noises. I think I'm going to have to move the spotlight. And spotlight is also going to need its own null object because I'd rather not play with the actual light itself. So it was originally here. I'll put that over here for Steph's portion, and now that we're in Light's portion, I'm going to want to move this back, and I'm probably also going to want VC Reflect on here too. One thing that's nice about VC Reflect is that it is a free plugin, so that's nice. From Video Copilot. Okay, so this is one of those say dog, see dog moments where I am going to move the camera until it's here, and I'm going to have to move the light source as such. I think I'm going to, yeah, it starts here. By the time it gets to here, I want the light to be up here. Yeah. And since Light's part starts here, I'm gonna move some keyframes around. And trim this up a bit so it's nice. Still not much of a fan of that. I'm gonna make it, there we go. Yeah, I like that better. Except I am gonna move Light this way a little more so that she's in the middle. how do I want to approach this next part, because it goes do 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 do. I think I know. I think I'm gonna go to another starry sky shot that trucks out and lands on her face. Yeah, let's go with that. So to do that, that camera ends here. I'm gonna go to the next portion where I'm gonna make a null. I'm gonna make another camera. Let's bring this thing back to 0. I want to know where I want to land. I'm going to have to move the light as well. I think I'm gonna like it if I do it like this. So I know this is where I want to end it, so I'm gonna put my keyframe here. Alright. So I know I want the light to be there, and I want that to be there. So until then, it's all camera movement. Does it look unnatural? Yes, no, yes, F9! I definitely want that reveal to come sooner, though. I do think I want this to be a little more this way. Let's see how that looks. Maybe that was a little too much. Let's go here. If I can figure out how to do it, I think I'm going to do a shadow transition. 31 to 42. Oh, right, because it didn't pre-compose the light on there. Wait. Yep, this definitely needs a spotlight here. Actually, I think I'm going to remove this pre-composition. I'm still going to make this universal audio. It is a plugin that I bought and I absolutely love it. It's great. So what I'm going to need is I'm going to need to pull out these effects. I'm actually going to have to move this camera again because what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the camera this way to reveal Lou. Okay, and then this is going to be weird, but I'm just going to duplicate light and I'm going to pull over this way. And a nice trick is that if you have a layer selected and you want something else to replace it, like this Lou here, if you press Alt and drag, it will replace it. And it'll keep all the settings. want it to come over a little faster, so I am gonna bring this over slightly. There we go. Okay, and from this point is where I can get rid of the light sprite. And we're going to move on to another camera here. So null object, camera. Pick whip, 3D layer, position. Oops. So I actually like that ending there. So okay. Does it look unnatural? Yes. F9. That'll really help so much in everything. And then from there, graph editor and edit as such until you get the look that you want. And then as that comes up, which I'll make it come up rather quick, it's already somewhat doing, but I'm going to make it even more so. I'm just going to move the light so we can... That's not the one I need. I will replace that with the sad looking one in a bit. But not now, because I think I forgot to download it. No wonder it looked... I thought I saw the mouth the first time around, and I thought, that doesn't look like the sad expression, and then I accidentally put the happy expression on. So... Here we go. Nope, I only want this keyframe to go this far, and this keyframe to go this far. If you want a keyframe to snap to your blue positioner right here, you hold Control while you're no wait, Shift. I get Shift and Control confused sometimes. So you press Shift, and it'll snap. So that's nice. And then for that, I want to go up into a sky, to a star, which I just learned how to do at work. So let's do that. Camera has to go up. Yep, that is the speed that I'm looking for in that. So from here, I'm going to make the star that I want, and for that I use, pretty sure that I used the star tool. Last time I did this, I don't always remember, but I definitely want the fill to be white and I don't need a stroke on it. So to change the fill of your shapes, over here is your shape tool. You hold it down, you have rectangle, rounded rectangle, ellipse, polygon, star. Thing is, with polygon and star, you can control how many points they have. If you were to do 4 points on a polygon, you would get a square. If you were to do 4 points on a star like I'm supposed to do, you're going to get the star effect that I want, which will look similar to this little star over here. Over here is fill. If you actually click the fill, you have the options of none, which would make the inside transparent, the solid color, which is what I'm doing, linear and radial gradients. The same goes for stroke. So let's make ourselves a star. Yeah, but that's not the star that I want. So under here, you always have these little arrows, which are your menus for the properties of your layer. So this is a star, contents, polystar, and it's one of these. Here we go, polystar path, points, 4. And then inner roundness, I want it to be pretty round. Inner radius, there we go. That is the star shape that I'm looking for. What I'm going to do with this star is I'm going to have it shoot up, and on the ding, it's going to do a rotation. So first things first, make it 3D, find it because it'll go where it wants to go because of its original coordinates. Bring it back here. This magnification ratio that is on the bottom left of your composition, which is this big window right here where you see what your final product is. Fit will make it so it fits in your screen. For the shape layer, it now looks black even though I filled it white because it's being affected by the light. I don't want that to happen. I just want it to be a white star that kind of comes out of nowhere. So I'm going to go into material options, and under accepts light, I'm going to turn that off. Okay, so that's looking good. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to effects and presets, and I'm going to get the glow effect. Because what's a star if it's not glowing? So glow intensity is going to be pretty... There we go. See, now that looks like a star. What I'm going to worry about next is I'm going to worry about that rotation. So the rotation that you'll want when you're working in 3D, if you just want it to turn, is the Z rotation. So I'm going to make this... Oh. Okay, I'm going to click away here for a moment, and... No, I don't want to see the null object. I don't know why I'm seeing that right now. But for the star, you see, this is its anchor point. When you affect something like rotation, it'll always be around that point. It gets frustrating though because it's not always in the place you want it. I want it to be in the center of it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control, Alt, Home, and that automatically puts it in the middle of the shape. Does it look unnatural? Yes. F9. Well, I already want it to be spinning, so... Okay, next part, I want to control its position. So yes, I want it to be there at the end, but I do want it to be down here first. I also want it to be smaller. So of course, scale, I'm going to make it 0. And I already know I'm going to want to ease on that one. So let's see how this looks. it would make more sense if it started, if its position started here. Instead, I'm going to line everything up. And this is going to have to be up here. A lot sooner and easy's everything. So this one, I'm going to have to play with the speed so it somewhat matches that other graph. I have a general idea of what that graph looks like. I know that it ramps up at the beginning, slows down at the end, so I'm going to give it that general look. But I'm going to want it bigger beforehand. I think I want its position a little higher. There we go. It's funny because it puts so much detail into that, and oh, hi Lou. Yep. So what's funny is, one, it's not the sad face. I need to get the sad face on here soonish. But by the way, we got both happy and sad faces of these characters, so we can use it for other stuff. I don't know what else we'd use Constellation set for, but And I know the refrain is going to start there. So I'm going to clean up my layers, collapse everything so that I can see what's going on. And let's start from where Steph starts. I'm going to turn off audio really quick so that everything can render without us getting zombie boy voice. And yeah, once it renders, I'll play it once again with music. A lot of things, or one of the things that I normally skip until the end is the addition of text. I'll do a little bit at the beginning like I did with stuff so that I get a general feel of what fonts I want to use, what positionings I want to use them, and maybe some effects. So I know that there's going to be text here because there isn't too much going on. Yes, there is the starry background, but the focus is going to be so much on the characters. Okay, that I think the text will really help. I'm going to play it back again with sound. Okay, and then we're going to go into the refrain. What do I want to do for the refrain? I originally had an idea of having everyone in a flower field, and then I started animating the flowers and realized that was a lot of work. So y'all are going to be flying in space. Have fun with that. So for flying in space, I'm going to be frank, this idea is halfway-ish of a ripoff of a lot of other places that I've seen, where, oh, it's a night sky, you're going to have like a big disc in the night sky, and I'm going to put the anchor point where it's supposed to be, and then it's going to be 3D, and then I'm going to rotate it, so, not that way. So then that'll become the floor. I'm going to maybe, do I like that? I think I like that, but it needs to be not so harsh, so I'm going to play with the opacity. That looks a little bit better. So this is essentially going to be the space floor that everyone is going to be standing on. Let's see here. Oh, is the center of the song? I think it's Kotori. Whoop, that's not what I want to click. I think Kotori is the center. Maybe. So I'm gonna have to make this art pretty small. And I'm gonna have to move this floor so it's actually acting as a floor, and I'm probably gonna have to make it bigger. There we go. That's looking a little bit better. And then if I put a reflection, let's bring this up a little bit more so it's essentially touching ever so slightly. There we go. I think that's looking nice. And then here's a cheaty face method. I'm going to duplicate Steph, move her over here, duplicate Steph, move her over here. Oh my, there's 3 Stephs? No, all of a sudden, there's Lou. And then all of a sudden, here's a light. And then I have to adjust everything, especially when it comes to that reflection. This definitely needs to be higher up. It's definitely the reflection doing that. So I'm gonna zoom in a bit. I'm gonna press save before something bad happens. Okay. Well, that is completely okay. So, since Steph is in the middle already, let's just move Lou over here. And then for Lou, we're going to put Steph over here. Sprite replacement. It's fun. It's very useful. When I first started animating, I did not know it existed, and oh boy. Those are some dark times. Here we go. So that's correct now. And that's correct. So all I have to do is fix this reflection. And move this around. There we go. Now that everyone is pretty much... Light looks a little too tall in this, and part of it is the reflection. It's the fine-tuning, things that take forever. Fine-tuning and concepts. So let's see here. I'm gonna move Blue to the top over here while I mess with... There we go. I'm gonna bring Steph forward a little bit. Nope, not that way. But to the side, and I shall do the same to Light. Bring her forward a bit. Just make these numbers I can remember. And bring her over. Actually, I think I need to scale Light down a little bit. Yeah, let's keep scaling. Oh no, she should be essentially the same size as Steph. What are their positions at? Position -600, -600. But that's definitely way too small. Actually, I think that's correct. I can stare at this art all day. It's so pretty. Even though I still feel guilty because light and stuff looks so sad. And you have Lou over here like, yay! And I'm just like, no, I downloaded the wrong one. I need to go back into my email and download the correct one. Okay, so now that everyone is in place, it's time to make the magic happen with camera movements. So as always, I make a null object, which is essentially my controller for my camera, and then I make my camera. And to make the null object the controller to my camera, I take this pick whip and I link it to this null. That way when I move the null, the camera will move with it too. Make the null a 3D, and then here we go. I'm gonna have to play with these reflections. I think they're a little too crisp. I'm gonna want a little bit of blur to them, but that's something that can be fixed later. I'll worry about camera movements. Oh, I should probably put this into half before my computer starts freaking out. And as my saying for animation goes, does it look a little robotic and unnatural as this does here? And that slowness, that is what audio sounds like when it's rendering at half speed. But let's disable the audio really quick and just let the video render out. It looks nice and all, but it looks static. So to fix that, F9, easy ease, woo. Takes a little longer to render, but I think it's worth it in the end. Okay, so we'll see how that looks like when that is done rendering in a few seconds. And we'll play it back to music. I find it funny how because of Steph's pose, she has only one foot in the picture some of these times. Okay, so I think that's looking pretty good. Next part is, because the phrasing works so well, I can do a truck out on each of the characters. So we'll start out with light. So one thing that's nice about cameras is I can just duplicate cameras, but I cannot duplicate the controller. I always need to make a new one. And I always need to link the new camera, the duplicated camera, to the new controller. So this is the camera that's active right now, and I'm going to... Well, now that I actually look at the knees, I like that a lot better than the feet. I think I'm going to change this animation right here. As long as I'm on top of one of the keyframes and I have both of them selected, I can change the X or the Y axis without it destroying everything. Okay, and because of that, I'm going to pull... Nope, that's not what I wanted. Oh, because this camera is... Whichever camera is on top is going to be the camera that takes control overall. So I just had one keyframe where I was trying to affect this, but I couldn't see it because the other camera was there first. So I definitely just want to see the knees. Huh, that's weird. I thought maybe this is too quiet. It isn't coming through. I thought I made it so it could. It was working earlier. I wonder what happened. Let's try that again. I'm sorry if this gets loud. Okay, now it should be coming through slightly. Yep, okay. Yeah, knees are super cute. Let's take that out of context and slap it on a shirt. Okay. So just make sure everything looks good. Okay, so I'm going on to the next camera where I said I was going to truck out on each of the characters separately. So light's going to be first. Look at that expression. Just this art, this art. Okay, so keyframe, I want this to be the ending shot. So I'm going to move this over here. I want it to be like a really close-up shot that pulls out into this. So, no, escape. And I want this to be that swooping motion. So I think to do that, this is how that speed graph looks. So let's try it out. And that null is where I really wanted to start pulling out. So then what I do is I mess with the graph editor. So the top of this curve is where I want it to be. So because I want it more dramatic, I want more of a curve here. It peaks here and then starts to slow down. So let's see how that looks. Okay, I might have been, I can't, it's one of those where I can't tell if it happens too soon or not soon enough. I think it happens too late. So let's try moving it forward. Yes, that is the look I'm going for. Perfect. I think for a little more dynamics, I'm going to add some camera rotation in here. Let's see what this looks like. Not as much rotation, but a little bit is fine. Yeah, I like that. I think that adds a little more pizzazz to it. Yup. And then we'll do this again on stuff. And for my rule of threes is, or just rule of animating, I always want to end a phrase on the center person. So let's move these keyframes over to stuff. I don't want that rotation going that way. I want it going the other way. So, yes, that looks better. for now I'm really going to have to redo the positioning so that it lines up. There we go. So, time to go back to my lovely speed editor graph. That's about the same look as the other one. I think that starts a little too far out though, so I'm going to yeah, I think that's looking good so far. So, and then we do the next one. I never duplicate nulls. I still do it by habit. It doesn't work. It'll never work. So controller, link it. We have to move this one. That got changed up on me, so bring this camera all the way out so it affects it the whole way. Because this phrase is a little longer, I'm wondering whether a pull-out will just be enough or if I'm going to have to add some extra movement. So I'm going to start out with the pull-out. I think it can be a little more zoomed in and maybe at a different spot. Oh no, it looks unnatural. What do I do? Easy ease. That na is when I'm going to want some more movement. But maybe not exactly on the na because it's still pretty early on in the phrase. Okay, I like that. The only thing that Stupid fruit fly, get away from me. Stupid fruit fly, I'm gonna destroy you and your family. Once I find out, it's fine. I don't like fruit flies. So I want us to have a little more movement to it, so I'm going to pull out a little bit more. Okay, so to make it more dynamic, we're going to add more of that rotation. I think I'm going to do, yeah, orientation this time seems like it'd be my best bet. So I like that. I liked it starting here. So let's see what this looks like. Okay. Let's play with these keyframes to make it match more of what the position is doing. But maybe not exactly, because those little differences are the nuances that I think make it if on IO's in the middle for for the choreography. It's a good enough reasoning for me. Oh, and here's something that almost every single person I've sent our references to do. So you see this little green clip in your hair right here? Let's do it, fruit fly. If you hear a lot of clapping, I'm trying to kill fruit flies. There's only so few of them left. So there's that little green star there. And that first showed up in the Mijuku Dreamer, that I think it was your friend that did the art for that. And it was really cute, and it was edited, and I edited so it had your hair and whatnot. And then I sent that over to the person who did the Tori Koriko outfits, and they also included that green hair clip. And I was thinking, but it was part of the Mijuku outfit, so I let that slide. And then just, it seems like every person after that always includes that green clip, and I don't want to Photoshop it out, and I didn't think this person would also do that. So apparently you have a green clip in your hair from now on. Oh sweet, happy little accidents. A good third of animating is also happy accidents. Like me figuring out that orientation on this looks really good, so. Okay, having it end on something that's perfectly straight, I think is a little. Yeah, I'm gonna end it here. Okay, for the piano that goes what I'm gonna do, and I think this will look really cool, I'm gonna also do orientation, so suddenly the sky twists like this. So let's see how that looks. And then I'll tie that into whatever I do for everyone here. So I think that's looking good. So next camera, duplicating camera is fine, duplicating null objects is not, so make a new one. Pick whip, 3D layer. So another thing that I can do, which I don't know if it'll work wholly for these, is one thing that a lot of cameras have for reels is depth of field. So if I turn, so it's under the option camera options. I turn that on and suddenly everything gets blurry, right? Well, that's because the camera, the parameters set. No, I don't want to affect zoom. Would dictate that light would be out of focus normally. So what I have to do is, until I can figure out a different process of doing this, I slowly just need to figure out where she is in relation to the camera. I think that's getting more blurry. It doesn't always work because I don't have a process, but when it does work, it looks wonderful. Okay, so 100 is definitely not it. I'm just gonna play around with this a bit, because one thing that I always do when animating is I try to learn a little bit more After Effects every time. And depth of field with the camera is just one of those things I have not mastered yet. It looked really good in Shadowgate, though. You know, I don't think this is gonna work. Let's just turn the depth of field off. I think the background looks blurred enough for the purposes we have here. I might just make a new camera here instead. That is a null object. Camera. Now me doing this right here. Ooh. Just me trying to get a sense of what the scene looks like. Ooh, that would be something really cool. If I changed... that could look really cool. I think I will use that at some point. One of those... Ooh, you're over here. Psych, you're... And then it'd be like, psych, the people are actually on this side. Except better executed. I just think that this looks really cool right here. Okay, so let's go back to position. I think I'll use some of that right here. Right. Trying to think how to incorporate that swooping motion into this one. Or am I on the timeline? I am right at the beginning over here. Okay, good. Actually, I might use that right here because it does make sense. So let's pull up. Let me not press the wrong button. And then we'll turn this slightly curved and upside down. That looks good. It's your end position. That was okay over here as well. I definitely want this. Be over here, and for the orientation, since that's the effect I'm going for, I'm going to go into the speed editor after I ease everything. Boop. And make it so it turns really, really fast at the beginning and doesn't have much turning later. Oh, hi Lynn! I had Discord open, so I did not see your talking. Hey! Okay, so I'm going to start from here, see if this transition works. Ooh, I am on full. I should not be on full right now. Let's turn off the audio for a bit. It doesn't turn the correct way. Okay, that's at least turning in the right direction. However, one of the things is that this needs to be already going by the time that point comes. And Lynn, you were... looking at your project, you're so much better at camera movements than me. I don't know what you're talking about. So you don't have to be impressed by me. I'm impressed by you. I think the best thing I can do here is I'm just gonna have to put a blur transition. That would, yeah, a blur would make the most sense. I'm gonna leave that be for now because transitions is something I just worry about later. I think this is the first time I've really been able to get platforms looking right, because for the longest time I'm still struggling with Video Copilot Reflect, because sometimes I have a 3D plane that I want to use and its opacity is all the way up at 100, but I want to have a reflection on the floor, but I can't because I have that angled in a way that the reflection doesn't come on the floor, and I'm thinking, what do I do? Yeah. Reflections are hard. I don't know how those pro animators do it. Whoop, zombie voice. Let's turn that off for a bit. The only reason this reflection works is because that platform is at 50% opacity. Okay, that rendered. That'd be a little more dynamic. So, graph editor. Wait, Lynn, have I shown you what universal audio does yet? Okay, I have it, so... No! Okay, so, let me go to one of the earlier pre-comps. Oh, I need to pre-comp this too. Ah, my layers are a mess right now. Okay, so this is until the refrain. That's 53. This would be 31 to 53. Okay, I already did it on that one, but I just made this new pre-comp. There we go, no audio. I have my main audio right here. I have my universal audio panel here, and it says, make the selected audio layers universal. I click it, and now it's added to the pre-comp. It was the best $7 I ever spent on After Effects. Ah. What? Whoa lights. What lights? Oh, you mean these lights? Oh, it's just one spotlight. I should probably add a light to the refrain somehow, even if it's just for a little ambiance. So since here is a 3-shot, let me add one of those really quick. Next time it's on sale, I'll definitely have to link it to you because it's already cheap enough and it just gets cheaper. So, wait, What am I doing? I love the whole null object thing because trying to control lights is the biggest pain. Because I want the light to go this way, and it means you want the light to do yoga? That's how it feels. It makes the circle dark, but I kind of like that. Oh, I forgot to copy the starry sky background. That might be important. Wait. I thought I saw on your project that you parented the null to lights. Huh. Oh. Then I wonder where the idea to start putting lights to it is. Because you know when you start dragging the X and Y position for a light, it just starts going in all crazy directions? Once I started pairing it to a null, I'm just like, I can control the light without it doing yoga? It's great. I'm doing a lot of hand motions, but you can't see them, but I refuse to turn on my webcam. Woo, zombie audio. Let's turn it off. I think Shadowgate to Love was my most successful attempt at using lights so far. And the only light I know how to use is Spotlight. I have no idea how ambient light is supposed to work. It doesn't look ambient to me. That's just me though. Okay, finish rendering. Let's see how the chorus is looking so far. What to do for the next part? Right, this is that really great idea that I had with some stars and whatnot. I need to look up Orion. That's not how you spell Orion. I'm just gonna need a simple one so I can recreate it. This one looks easy to recreate. My mouse is moving around, but that's because I just have this crazy idea in my head, and I hope it works. Okay, so crazy idea. Let's do this. And I kind of hinted to it in the animation beforehand when the star like came out from behind Lou, and I don't want to give it away right now, but I think it's gonna look so cool if I can pull it off. let's make that easy ease. And that one's definitely going to have to hit on that one syllable. That's it. I feel like if there was ever a guide on how to become an animator, the very first thing would have to be you can't get sick of songs. Something is looking weird. I think it's just my imagination. Okay, so that's good. That's a good movement. I'm gonna want to do that a few times, and I'm just gonna cheaty face and copy and paste. This. I'm gonna copy and paste this star. Now, where did the star end up going? Okay, it's over here. It's nope. Come over here, star. Yeah, I'll take away that for now. Let's just get this over here. And now I'll animate the position for it. And that's going to have to go flying up, not be there. You can't really see it leave her. Where'd the background go? Oh, there it is. One thing about it, you listen to little bits and pieces of a song so often. I think if I want to do this, this position is going to have to end a little higher than I'd like. What other keyframes do I have here? I have position, scale. I'm trying to have a star fly away from them during this part. Wait, what hidden keyframe is there? Oh, that's what happened. That's why nothing changed. Da. Da. Here we go. That should be right on it. However, this position still needs to go higher. And this will have to be more like over here. So that means scale is going to have to start sooner. And also rotation. That's going to have to rotate a hell of a lot more for what I'm thinking. So let's make it rotate a full 360 plus 180. Alright, and then position's probably going to have to zoom on by. Zoom. Zoom. It also means scale is going to have to grow exponentially too. Okay, let's see how this looks. Nope, definitely want more rotation. Oh wait, I think I know because I copy it. No? Maybe the scale has to be bigger at this point. Oh, I think that's getting close to what I want. Okay, one more time. I think maybe I could have position not zoom by as fast. Yes, that's the look. Okay, now to do that 2 more times. But that's the animation I want from the star though, so it should be better for copying and pasting. Okay. Okay, and next person. Except this time I think I'll go left to right and get Lou next. Nope, this needs to be much more zoomed in. Yo. I'm just gonna move these over just a few frames instead of redoing the graph. There we go. Brownie points to whoever can guess what I'm doing with these stars that are flying out from them. Oh, that needs to be behind her. Brownie points! Here's one question I have about the song, though. So at least in our lyrics, we say, well, our lyrics make more sense. There's no escape, hand to fade, guides you to Orion. But I don't understand what the literal translation that most people use is, no exit, our Orion. Is there some mythology that I'm missing? Yeah, I've always thought that Orion was just a hunter constellation. I don't understand where it fits in the context of what the original song seems to be saying. Here, shape. Duplicate. Actually, it'd be more accurate to duplicate lights. So Lynn, what do you think of my process, which is just clicking around until things look pretty? It needs to go up on Watashi. It needs to go up on that Rishi. Gets a little bit too far to the right. Oops, still too far. Now it's too far to the left. No, let me save the picture. There we go. Okay, that makes sense. Huh, it's cool. But still, the most popular translation of "No Exit, Our Orion," that phrasing is weird. I definitely like the way y'all phrase that in the lyrics. I think it makes a lot more sense. But you really have to think about "No exit, our Orion." So, of course, the whole "you can't escape" and "you're being hunted down." It's just weird phrasing, in my opinion. That makes so much more sense. Oh, Lou, you're a genius. That makes so much sense. I'm so proud with how our lyrics have turned out throughout the years. They've just been getting better and better. Yeah, she is. Have you read her original song that she... Oh wait, yeah, she did share with us the original song that she wrote. But I can't wait for that one, when she's finally done with that one, because it's such a good song. She's a living idol. I love her. Okay. Now I gotta figure out how to do this part. I'll definitely know for the part where it goes do 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 do. I'm gonna try to do a shattered or a cracked glass effect, and that's gonna take me a while to figure out. But I think for the rest of this stream, I'm just gonna try to figure out how to do the Orion part, because I think it's really cool. Even though I think it's a lot of effort for probably 5 seconds of the song. But I think it's gonna look so cool. Let's see, where's the camera for this one? Okay. Have the camera go further up here. And let's bring in the picture that I downloaded for reference. I feel like that's not what I told the camera to do. I think I said go up. Something got lost in translation somewhere. Let me figure that out. Nope. Okay. then this one, not that, is supposed to go up to here. Once this gets out of view, I need that to not be there. Ooh, yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, I'm gonna throw constellations in the background. I like the role that I've taken of rephrasing things and being a merger, because I like taking everyone's ideas and making them into one cohesive song, like with Kawada Yasuki. That was fun. Man, I am a goat. Okay, this is gonna have to ramp up a lot more for the effect that I'm going for. No. This is the only thing that gets affected. There we go. Okay, let's bring Orion back in and let's press save. One time at work, I didn't press save and I lost almost an entire days of work. It was not fun. I wanted to throw something at the computer, and mostly at myself, because that's my fault. But I'm so glad that project wasn't due that day. It was a nightmare. Yeah, and mossoing for work is a lot different. Ugh. Okay, we need to make a bunch of stars here. Stars. I don't know when in life I started not liking the 5-pointed star as much. I feel like that's a weird thing to say. But at some point it happened. Oh, Lynn, tell me, you know, about Control-Alt-Home. Okay, so you know how you draw a shape and the anchor point is in some weird place? Say, the anchor point's right here for the star. Then it moves the anchor point to the center of whatever shape you have. So many times I would start rotating shapes and going and just getting mad at them because I just couldn't get the anchor point, or when I would mess with the anchor point, it was never exactly center, so it never felt right. So many stars. How many stars have I made so far? Okay, I only have to do 2 more before the 3 main stars. Is that the right amount of stars? I think. Then random rotation. Or it's rotated. This needs rotation. Yep. All the stars. Okay, that's looking pretty good so far. Yeah. For all of these, be lighten. And then we'll do a glow. Now lighten. There we go. That looks like a glowy star type thing. Paste, 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 paste. Okay. Here comes the not fun part. Making them all 3D and putting them back in the exact same spot. Where'd they go? Where'd they go? They're all down here. Okay. No, that wasn't a good idea. Why does dragging it the X way? Oh well, just bring it up this way. There we go. This is the one part where I'm really passionate about it. I'm like, yeah, there's going to be stars coming out of them, and they're going to form Orion's belt, and it's going to be iconic, and then it's only going to be used maybe twice in the video. Trying to remember. I feel like I should remember how to animate along a path, because I want one star to come in like this, They started coming like this, and now they started coming like this. I feel like there used to be draw a spiral tool. Or that might just be in Photoshop and Illustrator. It's probably in Photoshop and Illustrator. Pen tool. Let's see if I can remember this. Was that on any particular layer? Oh, I put that on Starry Sky. No, it's supposed to be on its own layer. No, lighten. There we go. Oh, that turned out really well, I think. Yeah, the meteor's going do do, and then I had the adjustment layers that did the slight magnification and brightening of the part for the do 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 do. Space things are just so much fun. Oh, that was the path I was drawing earlier. Okay, so this point, except I don't want it to be a, I just want it to be a path. Let it be a path. Okay, I remember there was a way to, yeah, take out the fill. Yeah. And now this is a pretty sad path. I should fix this up. I think this one's unneeded, this one's unneeded, this one is needed, this one is not. Okay. Animating along a path. I should remember how to do this. Make a duplicate of this one. To the YouTube. Let's try this one.
Along a custom path and have it bend towards the path started. So here's a new, you hit P on my keyboard, our two values here. So what we're going to do is make sure nothing is selected. We're going to go up to the pen tool right here at the top. And we're going to come here and click a point. And then we're going to click another point, path right now. And I'm holding down shift to drag out these vertices. But right now I'm going to have the rocket animate along. It's opening up the shape layer tab here. Go into the contents, go into the shape, go into the path, and we want to make sure the path is selected and we want to copy it. And we'll go to our graphic here and
okay.
remember hit P for position, and we'll select the position parameter and we will paste those keyframes right into there. And we don't need the shape layer anymore, so we
What? Really? No. That's not terrifying at all. Oh, I think, oh wait, no, that is a 3D layer. But it's down here. Ah, there we go. Yeah, that does look pretty right. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Yeah! Yes, demon singing. Okay. I definitely want that to end on there. But I also think that the camera needs to go up faster to that point then. I don't think I can make it go any faster to that, can I? Yeah, I can. Okay, this is gonna look weird for a bit. So turn off the audio. So this is just gonna have to go up faster. And once that is out of frame, I'm gonna have to not make it visible. Okay, cool. Discord, stop freaking out. Cool. Okay, oh, this is looking so cool. It's not ending on the, oh wait, no, that's where it's supposed to go. I just need to have the other two as well. And I also need to play with this star so that it looks more like the other ones that went flying out. So I think that means I need to change the outer radius. And I think it also needs to rotate. Yeah, it definitely needs to rotate. So let's make that a 0 and see how this looks. It definitely needs to rotate a lot more than that, so there. Let's see how that looks. Okay, and then just make it a little bit more to the side, so... Ooh, so many shape layers. But I think I should be able to copy and paste this and just rotate it, maybe? Can I rotate the path? I don't know if I can rotate the path. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have deleted that other layer. I can draw another spiral. That's okay. We will be okay, dokey. Doki doki. Okay, position of the belt might not be perfect, but you know, it'll be 3 stars close together in a belt area. People will get it, right? This is very true. And, well, who would be the character singing it, though? Obviously, Monica and Yuri, but I don't know, Natsuki isn't... I wouldn't put Natsuki as one of the singers. I think it'd be between Yuri, Monica, and Sayori. Also, this may be weird for me to say, but I don't know if anyone else has noticed that Natsuki is really the most normal one out of all of them. She doesn't go crazy except for during the glitchy section. But you know she obviously didn't break her neck. Wait, this is what I needed to copy. Not this one. Yeah, this is such a cool trick animating along a path. Alright, this one is now in a weird spot. I'm gonna have to go fish it out. Come here, my path. Well, yeah, her dad's abusive, but she doesn't take that out on the main character. So I don't think she would be singing a song about, that's as yandere as, blah 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 words. No exit Orion. How do I make this? The path isn't as rotated as the other one I want to make. Does that mean I just needed to draw it another way? Maybe. Let me try that again. No, I think that's too big of a loop. I think if I'm going to do this, it needs to be a tighter loop. There we go. I think that looks better. Might be more for what I'm going for. As I pray for us under Sirius. I think that part is so clever too. That's stuck in my head. Okay. This should look more close to it. Cool, just one more star, yeah! Sixth line in the document. Ah, yes! I love that reference. The first time it popped up in the Lara talk, I'm like, y'all have to keep this. Especially in the context of Love Live. Okay, it's looking good. Let's get rid of that fill. Go. Looking good, and it's probably on an... Ooh, nope, not what I want to do. There we go. Go back to this one, bring it up here. Then that should make the belt. Woo! Oh, I love it. It's so great. Just best girl! I find it funny how the person who joined our server, Oscar, or Smugyo as he renamed himself, said, yes, Robot has a best girl, and it is Yo! Really though, Yo is a great choice. I think although she got pretty, what's the word? She kind of got left behind in a lot of regards. Like, even when it was supposed to be her and Chika's episode for Omoyo, it still just focuses so much on Rico, and I get it's supposed to be more of a whole second year thing, but I was really hoping for more development between Yo and Chika. But that's just me. And I don't know what y'all's thoughts are on things that happen in the anime, but do you feel like Hanamaru got shafted in the whole character development department? It was cute how she was shy girl, book girl in the first one, and then second season comes around and she eats. Okay, after 20 some layers of stars, let's see how this looks like. I'm gonna start from where I began all the way back here. Let that render out. Oh, especially since, come on, they're not big in the slightest in the anime. I bet that if we took, why is nothing happening here? Oh, that's why. That if we took the drawings, there would be no difference. Which font? The small one or the big one? Because the small one is Moonbeam, and the big one, it starts with an O. No, where'd my character one go? Uh-oh. Character. There we go. Opine Heavy. Oh, small one, Moonbeam. I also used it in Onaji Hoshigami Tai. Thing is, I don't even remember downloading it. That was another second season thing. But it was touched on briefly from what I remember. It wasn't as big of a deal. Okay, let's put it with audio. And I think that is a good point for today. Yeah! We did it! It's gonna look so good. It's gonna loop like 2 more times because that's just my habit. I look at things 3 million times. And I think, what do I want to do here next? What do I want to do here next? Because now I'm looking for places to put constellations in the background. Woo! I'll find a way. Found a way to make these stars do a spirally thing to make a run. I'm sure I can find a spot for Gemini somewhere. I'm gonna pre-comp this. Yeah. That seems like a good idea for now, because that's a lot of layers. It's your 117. So this is 53 to 117. Got it. Woo! And that is the animation stream for this portion of No Exit Orion. And I'm gonna have to be animating this at some other times in my life because I want to get this out by the end of September, which is only 2 weeks away. Woot woot. And of course, always worst case scenario, copy pasta, even though I wouldn't like to, even though some of these elements are so cool I might. Like, I'm definitely using that reflection thing again somewhere. And yeah, Lou, I'm glad you found it interesting. Lynn, I love ya, and I hope you got to see how some of my craziness works, especially after you sending me your file. I feel, especially since I have a lot of plugins on my files, I feel it's only fair to see how my thought process works. Okay, I'm gonna stop stream now. Thanks for watching.